Hello, hello, and welcome. Before we begin, I want to name what this conversation is really about. If you've been feeling mentally exhausted, emotionally reactive, or like your mind has become a battleground lately, this episode is for you. This isn't a conversation about fixing yourself, controlling your thoughts, or becoming better at spirituality. It's about understanding what's actually happening beneath the surface and how we can return to center when your inner world feels loud and unsteady. Today, we'll explore why so many people are at war with their own minds, why effort and discipline often make things worse, and what it truly means to reclaim power through presence instead of control. You'll leave here with a clear understanding of your experience, a softer relationship with your mind, and a way to meet reactivity without losing yourself inside it. This conversation is also an invitation into a longer journey of becoming an aligned human in a chaotic world, not by escaping what's happening, but by meeting it with awareness, coherence, and choice. If you are new here, welcome. I am your host, Elgin, and the creatrix of Practical Spiritualism, Field and Form, and the Aligned Human Project, where we bridge science and spirit. So let's begin. Welcome to the Aligned Human Project podcast, where consciousness meets creation and hustle gives way to harmony. I'm Dawn Elgin, contrarian soul guide, spiritual CEO, and founder of Practical Spiritualism. This is a space where we explore what it truly means to be human, aligned, awakened, and in flow with the field of life itself. Together, we'll bridge science and spirit, energy and embodiment, purpose and prosperity, so you can remember who you are beneath the programming and reclaim the power to create in full alignment with your soul. Because the next evolution of humanity isn't out there, it's in here. This is the Aligned Human Project. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Now, most people believe that suffering comes from what they think, or they don't realize what they're thinking. But what actually causes suffering is how they relate to thinking. We were never taught how the mind works. We were never taught how to be with emotion. So we were never taught how to stay present when discomfort arises. So instead, we default to suppressing thoughts or arguing with ourselves, judging what shows up, trying to fix or override that inner experience. And this creates a inner violence. And over time, that violence becomes exhaustion, anxiety, resentment, or collapse. The mind was not designed to be silenced. It was designed to be witnessed. And when awareness is absent, the mind runs the house. When awareness is present, the mind becomes a tool. I often think of the mind as ranging in age from 3 years old to 15 years old. We don't leave 3-year-olds at home by themselves. That wouldn't be an acceptable choice as a parent. And yet often we leave our mind just freaking out, having a temper tantrum. And no one's there to witness it, to calm it down, to bring it into a moment of stillness, to really listen to what is the fear or the worry underneath it. Now, and sometimes that mind is about 15 years old. It gives really bad advice. It thinks that it knows everything, and yet it really doesn't. The problem, though, isn't the thoughts. The problem is the absence of presence while they're happening. It's not like our thoughts are a character flaw. It's not like reacting is a character flaw. Reactivity happens when the nervous system is overwhelmed. It is a physiological response, not a moral failure. When someone is reactive, anxious, angry, or spiraling, awareness has collapsed and the body has gone into a threat response. The past is running the present. So when we tell ourselves, I shouldn't feel this way, I should be over this, I know better, we add shame on top of dysregulation. And shame never regulates the nervous system. Anxiety is a signal. Anger is a signal. Emotional charge is information. Emotion is data, not identity. You're not broken. You're receiving feedback from the field. And what we're feeling is information, not failure. This is a good place for us to take a quick pause, and I just want to talk about the subconscious mind. There are 3 layers to consciousness. One of them is superconsciousness. It is our soul, our spirit, our God essence, and is pure perfection, pure potential. Then there is our subconscious mind. I think of our subconscious mind as our humanness. It's our identity, our ego. And it's compiled of all of our past experiences. And this is what I mean when I say if the mind is running the house, we're experiencing it from all the things in the past. Consciousness, so when people say people need to awaken, they need to be more conscious, what they're talking about is being aware of our thoughts. It is understanding what is going on and making a choice. So instead of reacting, we start responding. So, how do we become more conscious? What does it mean to train the mind? Training the mind does not mean controlling your thoughts. It does not mean forcing positivity, or what we would call toxic positivity. It does not mean bypassing your emotions or suppressing them or reactions. Training the mind means strengthening awareness. And awareness is the ability, the capacity to notice without collapsing. It's the space that allows experience without becoming it. How do we be aware of our thoughts? We have to be present in this moment, not planning our rebuttals. That's how we create awareness. And awareness restores choice. And choice is power. Without awareness, without presence, there is no choice. And without choice, there is no power. Without power, people try to control. And that's why control becomes addictive when presence is absent. The moment you can notice a thought without obeying it, your power is returned. You don't need to stop the thought. You don't need to replace it. You just need to stay present while it passes. That is the training. Training awareness isn't about changing what arises. It's about staying when it does. Then we can choose. Law 3 of field and form, the 12 laws of co-creation that we see threaded all throughout all spirituality, religion, science. Law 3 is what I call the law of power. And the law of power is talking about presence. Presence is power. Presence is your power. Power is such a trigger word. Power is not dominance. I'm going to repeat that. Power is not dominance. We don't have a problem with flicking the light switch and turning it on. We often have a serious trigger switch that happens with certain words. So if you notice yourself triggered by certain words that come up, such as power, such as God, anything at all, please do yourself a favor and make a note of them. What are words that trigger me? I say this to you because when we have a trigger, this is a manipulation point. I'll repeat that. When we have a trigger, this is a manipulation point. It is a place where we can be played. It is a place where we can be manipulated. And if you do not want to be manipulated in your life, then make a note of the words, the things that trigger you, so that you can dig down and stay present when they come up. Because what happens when we have a word like power, if you are triggered, you are no longer listening. You are already thinking about the past. We've shifted very quickly into habitual or subconscious mind. So it's important for us to notice these things. Power is not dominance, and power is not certainty. Power is not intensity. Power is the ability to choose in real time. And why? Because when you are present, you are not in the past and you're not in imagined futures. You're here. And when you're here, you're able to respond to what's going on around you. You have so much capacity, so much strength in this moment. And so often, this isn't where we are. We're in our heads thinking about the rebuttal, thinking about how this makes us feel or why they should think differently. But we're not here. And it's only here that we can really cultivate connection with the other person we're in a conversation with, connection with whoever we are absorbing information from, connection with the earth, with life. When we are present, we have the ability to really make choice. When you are present, you're not reacting from old wounds. You're here. And here is the only place that choice lives. I can't say it enough. Presence stabilizes the field, thoughts, emotions. And when the field stabilizes, form responds, the body. That's why regulation must come before clarity. That's why alignment must come before intention. You don't need answers when you're present. You need answers when you're disconnected. Now let's take a moment and just allow this to land. This isn't about getting calm. It's about coming back. So as we do this, I just want you to notice your body, feeling your breath, feeling your weight. Maybe it's on your feet. Maybe it's in the seat. Maybe it's feeling the body expanding with the breath. Noticing where in the breath you're breathing. And you can do this with your eyes open, with your eyes closed. Just notice. Is it up in your shoulders? Is it in your neck? Your upper chest? Are you expanding your ribs as you breathe? Are you expanding your belly? Just notice without the judgment. Just notice. And the mind, like a clear sky, and thoughts, like clouds, they just come and they go. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Maybe it's a judgment about the sound of my voice, the speed in which I'm talking, the things that are being said. Just notice. Often it's a commentary about the room you're in, about what I'm wearing. Notice. And whatever's there, I just want you to let it come and watch it like you're watching TV or the words going by on the bottom of the CNN ticker. Let it come. Let them go. Just a thought, electrical charges, without any commentary. Every return is a win. Presence and practice, micro moments, just like that. Center isn't a destination. It's a rhythm. So with all that, let's talk about how this shows up in real life, because it's all good in theory, but how do we apply it without effort? Well, first, we notice when we abandon ourselves. And we do this by noticing when we go into control, noticing when we use certain words, specific words such as should, shouldn't, I wouldn't have. You start to notice the judgments. And it might be judging a moment, might be judging another person, it might be judging yourself. It's an easy spot for us to go into. The reason I say it's an easy spot is because if you practice it in stillness, so in a safe space, say wherever you are right now, and just think of a person that you like to judge. Maybe it's a parent, a child, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's me. I just want you to think about them for a moment. And imagine talking to them and saying, you know what you should do? And as you say that, it might take a couple times. Maybe you're going to throw something else behind it. You know what you should do? And notice where you feel that in your body. This is the practice I used for years to help me understand. And for myself, what I noticed is right here in my upper abdomen, I felt a little, ooh, almost like you lose some power there, like just a little bit sick. Just notice it. What do you feel that in your body? You know what you should do? World shouldn't be like that. War is wrong. People shouldn't eat a certain way. Think of the judgments. Where do you feel that in your body? That sensation is the feeling of self-abandonment. Say it again. That is the feeling of self-abandonment. Because you see, I can't be in my own home, in my own body, and be in your business at the same time. So every time I get out of my business to get into your business, to get into God's business, I have to self-abandon. And I do that, I start creating feelings of insecurity. And think about that word. Inner security versus insecurity. Notice the feeling. What does that feel like? Often feels like insecurity. So once we start to recognize this and we notice, we can catch it. We might do it right away. Well, you know what you should do? And then you'll be like, oh, you know what? No, I'm going to stay in my own business. My apologies. That was very rude. Just stop. Let it be there. And notice when presence changes the moment. The moment we notice it, we just got present. Now we're here. Now we're with this person. Not in our fake world. We don't need to change our lives. You don't need to fix your life. You just need to stay present inside of it. You don't regain your power by pushing harder. You regain it by coming home. If this work resonates and you feel the pull, a good one, to go deeper, there are a few ways you can work with me. I offer group journeys like Align Your Life, private sessions, and longer-term programs where we talk these laws slowly and embodied, not as concepts, but as lived experience. And you'll find all the links below to explore what feels right for you. No pressure, just an invitation. Alignment isn't something you achieve. It's something you return to. Remember, you are the field. You shape the form.